Hi, I'm going to show you how I shaped a 1934 Chevy rocker. I was able to make the rocker in two pieces. This is the piece that would be the most difficult to make. This is the piece that has is shaped along the bottom of the door, not the vertical part. So I made a form that's in my hand. It has a concave surface and somewhat of a convex face to it, and then the undersurface is convex. I made that form and I'll describe making one in another video. So I take 18 gauge sheet metal and I put it in my vise with that form. I give myself plenty of extra metal at the bottom of the form because the form is not the exact same size as the rocker itself, and I don't want to cut myself short. Once I have it clamped in place, you'll see that I've clamped it to the concave side of the form. Now, my vise only clamps the middle, but what about the ends? So I need to use additional C-clamps to get those in place. But if you clamp it in the middle, it will sort of bow into the shape of the form, but the extra clamps are beneficial. So now that I have it clamped in place, I'm going to do some hammering. You might say, well, I'll just start hammering away, but I think you'll agree that that's not very efficient. Using my body weight and the leverage of the big sheet of metal, I can get some of it started with some pressure down. What we're doing is wrapping that form with sheet metal, just like you wrap a Christmas present. Now I can start hitting the face of the form, which would be the concave portion of the form. I'm not striking anywhere on the upper surface, which would be the outer surface of the rocker, since the rocker's turned not in its normal position on the car. Once I hammer and start sort of shaping the metal, I can start to see the corner edge of the form underneath my mallet strikes. Now I'm speeding up here because you know how to hammer stuff. I'm trying to wrap that metal tightly around the form. So I'm not striking at the top right away. I'm striking on the concave side first. Want to get that tightly up against that. Now, I've been striking both on the concave surface and that upper surface, which is the outer surface of the rocker, and have shaped it to pretty good conformity to conform to the shape of the rocker. But now my vise is in the way. My vise handle won't allow me to shape it anymore because it's just in the way. So I'm going to cut my sheet metal at the tape and leaving myself plenty of excess. So now that I've gotten that out of the way, that was absorbing a lot of the blow energy. Now I can start striking on the outer corners here and shaping that down. You'll see I've shaped this end down. I'll go over to the other end and shape that, and then I'm going to have to take it out of the vise to do the center portion. So here I've got it shaped, the section that's towards the camera and the section that's away from the camera. Now the vise is in the way, and I have to take it out of the vise to finish it up. But you can see the metal is taking the shape of the form because I'm going very methodically from the concave surface, wrapping it around, and then the convex surface. Now my clamps are in the way, so rather than have these camel humps on the metal, I have to take those out. So take those out and just get rid of those while I'm doing the center section and hammering that down. Again, we're simply wrapping the metal tightly around that form, and hopefully we'll get the right shape because it's doing some stretching as I hammer. Let's get rid of the last two clamps Now it's taking shape, and some of the hammer blows have, marked on the metal, and this is going to take additional work to smooth that out with a hammer and dolly. Slip a dolly in there and you can, get rid of some of those marks. But basically what we're trying to achieve is a compound curve that is convex on one side, concave on the other side, and has a fairly flat outer surface, just like the rocker did in the car, the original rocker. Well, I'm pretty happy with how it's shaped up there. Let's take a closer look at it. But that top surface is concave, and the bottom surface is convex. And so it's got a little bit of a boat shape to it. Now, if you find that you need to have it shaped on that outer surface to have more of a curve, what you would do is, before you went to shaping the bottom side, you would put it into your shrinker and start shrinking that convex surface. Start shaping the concave surface. Now here we're going to look at it real slow motion here so that you can see the detail. The upper surface here is concave. The outer surface has a flat radius to it. It's not a sharp radius, it's fairly flat. And then the bottom surface will have, of course, the convex shape to it. And this will require a little bit more work, but we have successfully shaped a one half of the rocker piece, and this is the most difficult piece to make and have it shaped right. Now I'm going to do the whole thing all over again in fast motion. This is a second attempt, and I'll show you my mistakes. First of all, you're seeing me do the same methods, except this time I'm going to start striking at that concave surface edge and not doing the outer surface, which is facing up. And I'm doing that deliberately to hopefully avoid some hammer marks on that outer surface. But you will see that the results are, to me, not as pleasing. That's because the metal did not wrap around that form quite as nicely. And what I have is a sharper radius. And that sharper radius is not really quite as correct as the original. What would have been better is if I had done like my first attempt and hit more blows along that upper surface, which is of course the outer surface of the rocker. But I'm now ready to start shaping the bottom section. Of course, the center part that's in my vise, I can't hammer yet because the vise is in the way. But I wasn't as happy with this result. You can see the doming of the outer surface is more of a sharp radius, and you just have to play with how much your hammer blows are shaping it to the form that you made. But here we are. We're going to take those clamps out. We're going to finish up, and you'll see the difference as I compare them side by side. One, I think, is more pleasing and correct compared to the original rocker than the other one is. So let's get rid of those clamps, finish up the hammering, and there we have pretty much the same result with a sharper radius on the outer surface. Let's compare the two. There it is, that sharper radius, and then we'll put the other one up next to it. and you can see the one in my left hand is a flatter outer surface. I get it held up here correctly. Let me put it up there. So now it's on the right. But these do have the correct bow shape or boat shaped upper surface is concave and the lower surface is convex.